I'm Eric Levitt, and I'm presenting results on the Barostim Neo device. It's a second-generation system for electrical stimulation of the carotid baroreceptors. The system consists of a pulse generator implanted in the pectoral region and a single lead that's implanted in the carotid sinus. The lead is implanted through a 2 to 4 millimeter incision, or centimeter incision. The electrode position is optimized by observing intraoperatively the pressure reduction that's observed by applying the stimulation. In this study, we looked at 30 resistant hypertensive patients, the baseline systolic blood pressure around 170 millimeters of mercury. The patients were heavily medicated, around 6 medications on average, with sort of a standard battery of medications, but also on top of that some patholytics as well as aldosterone antagonists were in place in these patients. Over the course of 3 months and 6 months, the pressure reduction in the patients in systolic was 26 millimeters of mercury. Diastolic reduction was around 12 to 13 millimeters of mercury. And medications remained constant during that time. Of the 30 patients, 20% of them, 6 patients, had actually had a previous renal denervation. It's another procedure that's used for addressing resistant hypertension. Those patients had a very similar pressure drop over the same time period as the patients who did not have that history. So that addresses one question that people have had, because the therapies may have some mechanistic actions in common that can they synergize, or are they redundant with each other? And I think this study shows that they really are not redundant, and they can be put on top of one another to improve the outcomes of patients. The safety profile of the new system is also substantially improved. This is from observations in our previous trial, where we noticed that a lot of the patients, in that system we had patients who were implanted bilaterally on the carotid sinus, 2 leads, one on each side. We noticed that about 75% of the patients were implanted or were treated unilaterally with the system. So this system is unilateral, requires only 1 incision, and as a result, the perioperative safety profile was actually just about the same as what you see with a pacemaker. So from the standpoint of the improvement in blood pressure and the implications for outcomes, as well as the safety profile, we think this is an attractive option for patients with resistant hypertension. Next step, so right now this device is approved for sale in Europe for hypertension, and we are proceeding with that. We are also in Europe doing a study in systolic heart failure. And then in the United States, we are in discussion with the FDA for trials that will get us to a path to market for the system in resistant hypertension. I think the trial would probably start in another, I would say probably 8 to 12 months, and hopefully would be on the market sometime around 2014, 2015.